Pretty neat. It's really, first of all, it's really small for a console box. Not something you can carry with one hand and everything. It has a lot of these really neat pictures on the sides. And instructions it actually has, if you look here, it has a list of all the parts. There are a lot of parts in the Switch compared to your normal game console. We're going to take a look in a second, but you have controllers, controller pieces, all kinds of stuff. So let's just get right to it and take a look. Okay. First off, actually, if you look right here, there are instructions on how to set it up. They're just really nice looking instructions. And it's really, again, this box is really well put together, which I think is neat. So, first, let's take a look at this. This is the Switch. This is, I mean, they call it the Switch. This is where all the hardware is, and the processor, and where you put cartridges and everything. This is the console, when you really think about it, and everything else is just accessories. As you can see, it has, I believe it's a 6.2-inch screen. Port for headphones, port for cartridges, volume, power button, and on the bottom you have a USB Type-C charge port, and that's what it plugs into when it plugs into the dock. But also, if you were to just charge it, you can just use any USB-C charger. Oh, and also, actually the one interesting thing about it is the kickstand here. I'm gonna take this little thing here. This is my main complaint. We're gonna talk. I guess we'll talk about this more in the review. Is the fact that this kickstand does feel a little flimsy. There are ways to get around using the kickstand though, obviously, but it's something you should know. And also, this is where you put a micro SD card if you want to expand your storage. It's important to know. It's a little bit hidden. Since there are already games coming out that are actually bigger than the 32 gigs of internal storage on this thing, it's a good thing to know where that port is. Okay. Next up, Joy-Cons. Check these out. These are the Joy-Cons. These are the little controllers that you can either play, local 2-player with one person holding each of these, or you can play in a game just holding these floating, or, my favorite, snap like that, snap like that, and this is your portable console. The sticks are pretty nice. I mean, in general, the buttons and everything feels nice. It looks great. I really like the colors. They really pop. I think the sticks, sometimes it can feel like your fingers drift off them a little bit, but all things considered, I would say these are pretty nice. Let's prop this up here while I get out the next thing. I guess the next thing we should look at is the dock, which is this guy. This is the thing that you plug your Switch into. I'm going to show you in a second. If you want to dock it onto and play on your TV, if you look in here, there's a USB-C male port that will click into the bottom of the dock. This thing is really just a piece of plastic that's just a hub for ports. There are 2 USB ports. This is actually probably the thing you might not have heard about. On the side here, I've heard reports that they may add compatibility with external storage, which is probably what you would use these for. Right now, I'm not really sure what you'd use an external USB port for. But then, here, in the back, flip this down, and you have the USB-C port for charging. You have another USB port, and you have an HDMI port for plugging into your TV. Very simple. and all the cords flow through this little thingy here. It makes for solid cord management, at least the best you can do with this little hollow piece of plastic. And now, again, for the coup de grace. I'm trying to do this backwards. I apologize if I do it poorly. There we go. And then, voila! And that's how you do it. And then you go back, you do it again, you take it out, and you're playing on the go again. Go back again while I go move on down. I'm having trouble getting this thing in here. Maybe because I'm doing it backwards. Yeah, that's much better. Again, put that over here while I get the next piece, which is Joy-Con grip. This is a holster for your Joy-Cons if you want to play a game on your TV and you have normal, you want to use a normal feeling controller. Obviously it has these ergonomic grips here, hence the name. So we do one of these, and we do one of those, and we do that, and we do that, and you've got a little controller. I will say, compared to a PlayStation, a DualShock 4, or an Xbox controller, it feels a little small, like it feels narrow in your hands, but having played a few hours of this, you get used to it really fast. So, it's a pretty nice controller. I can't say, we don't have a Pro controller yet, so I can't say whether or not, how this compares to the Pro controller, which is an optional $70 add-on. So, it better, for it to be worth it, it's got to be better. We will let you know about that soon. Let's see, what's next? The next thing, you have cords here, power cord, HDMI cord. Obviously, as you can see, we have opened and closed this many times before, so they don't look quite as nice as they will when you get your new Switch, but just so you know they're there. And then the last thing we have are these, which I'm blanking on what they're called exactly. They are basically little wrist strap slides. I'm gonna actually look on the name on the box. They're calling them the straps because they are wrist straps, but they also add, let's look at these. I think the best part about them is they add these little buttons. So if you are playing 2-player local multiplayer, you get these extra buttons, which they feel a lot nicer than the buttons on the standard Joy-Con, and it gives it a little more size in your hand, which is nice. And I would say that is about it.